Oh, no. Morning. You need to unmute, Mr. Salcedo. Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning. Mr. Ingalls, if you can unmute.
I should be unmuted. Good morning. Good morning.
You are now. Okay. 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 We have Mr. Salcedo, we have Mr. Ingalls here. I don't see anybody else. Let's take up the motion for withdrawal. Mr. Salcedo, you filed a motion for withdrawal, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. It was based upon my lack of contact with Mr. Ingalls. Obviously, he's here. If Mr. Ingalls still wants me to represent him as his attorney, I'm more than happy to come on board.
Mr. Ingalls?
Yes, sir. I definitely do. We were both out of town last week, and so we missed each other's contact. But I do want him to represent me still.
Okay, so I'm gonna ignore the motion to withdraw. Okay. I just want to take that up. Other side is not logged on, so let's give it a few minutes, and then
Okay.
we're still a little early. We're about 3 minutes ahead of schedule.
No problem.
Here we go. Morning, Ms. Carcos.
Good morning.
Okay, we have all the parties. Anybody that's going to offer testimony, if you please raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth of God.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
This is a carryover case from back in, I guess, I'm not sure, November of 2020. And the eviction was for non-payment of rent, correct, Ms. Carcos?
Correct.
And how much is the monthly rent?
The monthly rent is $531.
During the first of each month?
Correct.
And what months are alleging are outstanding?
August with a 501.99 is outstanding, and then the full amount for September, October, and then the proration of November.
I'm sorry, August 501.
501.99.
99. Okay, then we got this is 2021 you're referring to.
Correct.
Okay. And September is 531?
Yes, and October is 531, and then the
Okay.
proration of November.
Okay. Mr. Salcedo, do you have any questions of Ms. Carpos?
Yes, Ms. Carpos. Ms. Carpos, were you contacted by an entity? Give me just a second. known as Texas Rent Relief, on behalf of Mr. Ingles on or about June 23rd of this year.
Personally, no, I wasn't. I'm just an
Okay.
agent that shows up in court.
Okay, are you or your firm or your company aware or your client aware that Mr. Ingles was actually approved for rent assistance in the amount of $8,525?
Correct. It's on his ledger and it shows that exact amount on July 14th. And that gave him a credit of 2901, which is why the rent is only 501.99 for August.
Okay. And I'm looking also at the motion to reinstate that you filed with the court. And I see that it does not allege an amount of past due rent that was owed, even including the amount that he was approved for through Texas Rental Assistance. Is that a correct summation?
I don't know. I haven't seen the notice to reinstate.
Okay, all right. That concludes my questions at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Salcedo, you want to have your client testify?
Yes, sir. Let me go see Mr. Ingles.
Yes, sir. Everything that Mr. Salcedo brought up is correct. And I was approved for that assistance. And even in the same email, which has been forwarded to the local landlords at the El Paso office and to a B. Davis at warrenproperties.com, in that same letter, it says that not only was I approved for the $8,525, but after a 30 to 60 day period, if funds are still available through Texas Renter Assistance, they will approve me again for the rest of the year. And then it has the phone number for them to contact either the office or the direct agent for any other questions. So I actually have more rental assistance coming on top of that.
Okay, can I interrupt you really quick, Mr. Ingles? I just have like one brief question. Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
you have been served with the notice to reinstate this eviction on the docket, correct?
I was
okay.
was served with a
All right.
notice.
Have you received notice or have you been served with notice of a separate suit for forcible entry and detainer?
No.
No. Okay. All right. That concludes my questions for Mr. Ingles at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. Any argument or
Simply on my end, it just looks to me that there is a lack of communication between Mr. Ingles and his apartment that I think I would be more than happy to facilitate. It looks like not only has Mr. Ingles already been approved for a good chunk of rental assistance, which the agent for Warren Properties acknowledges that they receive, everything indicates to me he would be approved for future funds. I want to keep this young man from being off the street. And I am more than happy to work with Warren Properties to facilitate the additional rental assistance that will pay his rent through the rest of the year and basically keep Mr. Ingles housed.
okay, my question is, why hasn't it been done? I mean, the rent was applied through July.
I would like to know that myself, Your Honor. I only recently, within the past week, became aware that this case is reinstated.
Okay, Mr. Ingles, I'll ask you, why hasn't that been done?
It has been done. The email, I also sent it to your guys' JP email here on
I've got it here,
Paso
but
County.
I think
I've-
you have the opinion that they are supposed to just pick this up and work with you don't do anything?
I've called them through telephone. I have told them what number to call. I've been assured by Isabel herself that they did contact the landlord and approve it. And then I had a Renee Lujan, who works at the local office, call me and say that they did not receive not even contact, and two, not even the amount of $8,525. And I told them, well, I will dispute that and I will forward you the email, which I've done. And still to this day, they refuse to contact those numbers and that individual. They keep asking me where the money is, and they're not going to give me the money. They got to verify the right landlord through the information provided by my lease and their tax ID information. And it's just like I did last year with all the other programs. I contacted them personally, gave them the phone numbers, gave them the amounts that would be approved, and then they failed to give the documents for the W-9 to approve the actual check being It's
The
always
check's
fault on
been
their
issued.
end.
The check's been issued and applied. We're talking about additional sums.
And it
Uh,
doesn't say he's definitely in that letter. It doesn't say he's definitely available or that he's definitely going to get more assistance. It says you may be eligible to receive more rental and utility assistance. If funds are still available in 60 days, you will receive an email notification with more details on how to request additional funding. So it's up to the
And I
defendant
do have,
to request the additional funding in a timely manner. We're going into month 4. So the property is no longer going to participate and with just like possession of the premise.
I've already done my part to apply for the additional assistance and it will be coming. I actually have that email as well.
I'm just, Mr. Ingles, I'm getting the impression that you think it's the landlord's obligation to follow through with getting you additional funding?
No, they don't. It's not their job to follow through, but they should have all the emails here on October 18th. You can now apply for more Texas rental assistance. You are eligible to receive the rest of the benefits through the program. So I've already done. So they should be getting another contact from Texas Rent Relief again here shortly. That was October 18th. They still haven't showed me proof until today that they got that $8,525 until she just said it. So.
Okay. Well, again, we're not talking about the $8,525. We're talking about for August, September, and October.
Yeah, yes, sir. You're definitely right. And on October 18th, I was able to re-qualify for those assistant benefits. So they should, if they haven't already, received an email. And if this agent's not getting the emails from Texas Rent Relief and they only see it from me being forwarded, then they have to get with Mr. whoever's emails at B. Davis at Warren Properties. That would be the email that my agent used last time. But as of October 18th, I was requalified for more rental assistance through this program, and they'll be paying the rent up until December.
Have you followed up to see how much you qualify for?
I won't get that amount until they've actually approved and they've spoken to the landlord and done the same thing they did last time. So it's probably still within that time frame. Once they go through the prerequisite, they give me a phone call and then they tell me the amount I've been approved for, and then they tell me to follow up for an email.
Okay. And Ms. Carcos, your testimony is the landlord is not wishing to participate in the El Paso help?
No, they're not.
It's okay. There's an addendum in the letter that says if they choose not to participate, the money will be given directly to me and then I can pay it in cash. I don't know why they would choose not to participate the second time. The rent should have never gotten as high as it was if I'd got the W-9 last year in a timely manner for them. I've been doing everything on my part, had multiple agents and different businesses contacting them, all asking for a W-9, which I never received. Until almost 8 months of requesting one. And so it's been
what is
causing
W-9?
Your Honor,
a
he's
W-9
talking
is a
about
tax ID form.
I'm sorry?
A W-9 is a tax ID form that these companies use to make sure that the landlord is a legitimate landlord.
Oh, it's their EIN number. They give their EIN number. So they've given.
Yes, sir.
Well, they had.
They failed to give it to me last year.
I'm sorry?
They failed to give it to me last year when I had all the other companies that give us rental relief. And so because they took so long to get the W-9, those programs were only 3 months long and the other one was 1 month long. And
what does that have to do with
because
August, September, and October?
What I'm just saying, sir, is I've given them all the information and I've applied for these rent relief programs And now I'm waiting for the time it'll take for them to get this next letter. I mean, on October 18th is when I was told I was going to be approved for more assistance. So by this time or now, they should have been contacted already. And that agent is stating that she never has been contacted by Texas Rent Relief. So
Okay,
it must be.
If you're not getting any response from the landlord, then you got to take the route that they're not willing to participate and then go to the next step and get the funding yourself.
Well, I mean, I'm still waiting for the response on October 18th. I'll read it again verbatim. Let me see. I do apologize. I just closed my email. But it states that they will contact them, and once they see how much my rent is from now till December, that would be the amount of the check that they would write. But
You didn't forward the October 18th email, correct? Or
yeah, I didn't forward that one because I thought the one that was in question was the 8,525. Until today, I didn't know they received it. But Warren Properties has to tell Texas renters that they refuse to participate, not me. The Texas Rent Relief won't take my word for it. So until that happens, they're not going to send me a check anyway.
Is that what it says in the email?
Yeah, it does state in the email that the landlord has to, in the one that you have, if you go to the middle of the letter, you'll see it. The landlord has to tell Texas Rent Relief that they're not willing to participate. Once that happens, then I will be contacted and notified that a check will be sent to me. And I don't think their policy is going to change for the second time.
Mr. Salcedo, I'm going to reset this for next Tuesday, give you an opportunity to assist Mr. Ingles in getting this cleared up. If he is eligible for it, hopefully y'all can find out if he is eligible and for what sum before next Tuesday.
So
Okay.
I just found my email again, but I don't mind talking about it next Tuesday. But I do have the email, and I'll forward it to Mr. Salcedo.
Okay, well, you need to keep in contact. The efforts need to be put on. You need to coordinate this with Mr. Salcedo and cooperate with him. And I'm not saying you haven't. I'm just saying that you need to, particularly this next week, you need to get this thing worked out to where they can find out whether they're going to be paid or not. So we can avoid eviction.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to set this for the same time next Tuesday. Well, let me just make sure that I have.
Next Tuesday, November 9th at 3:45.
Do we have other
Okay.
ones set there?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Okay.
Just one more thing, Your Honor.
Yes.
Yeah, going to ask, could I have the name of the agent for Warren Properties again, as well as her telephone number?
Sure. Mrs. Carpos?
My name is Kellen Cargos, but you'd have to speak directly to the property regarding this. If you call me, I still don't have any information. I just
That's the name he's asking for. Is who does he contact at Warren?
Roberta Salazar. And then phone number is 915-581-1924.
Okay.
And do you have an email? You can,
I do not.
is it on your emails, Mr. Ingles? Were you forwarding these to somebody?
I myself would
Warren Properties would be Renee Lujan. Go ahead.
I myself would like to have some contact information for you, Ms. Carlos. I understand you're just acting as agent, but I just want to make sure that I'm able to get a hold of everybody involved in this if I need to.
You can go to the Nationwide Eviction website and they can help you there. Or Nationwide Compliant.
Your Honor, is this hearing on the record?
Well, it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube, but is there a record of it? Could be accessed later.
No, because
No.
JPs aren't.
Ms.
Court of
Carlos,
record.
are you going to be handling that next Tuesday?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you're going to be handling this case, if you're going to be appearing for, I think it's only fair that Mr. Salcedo has your contact information, just like you would have his.
I'm not giving out my personal information.
I'm not asking for your personal
Work for this
invitation.
organization. You must have a way of being get a hold of if I need to get a hold of you.
Um,
You're
you can email, let me see.
Up on the screen, if y'all can see the screen, there is an email for that R. Lujan.
Yes, Renee Lujan is he's at the local office right there next to my apartment building.
Okay, Mr. Salcedo, do you see that email?
I briefly, let me see. Yes, I do.
Or-
Arluhan at Properties here.
Okay, I can give you Eddie Young's email address and you can contact him.
Okay, just to note, Your Honor, I just wanted noted that Ms. Carpos refused to provide any direct contact information for her, even though she is here today as an agent for Warren Properties, regardless of whether she's operating in capacity as a subcontractor for this eviction, whatever company she works for. I just want that noted, Your Honor.
Okay. But
Well, Eddie's
go
the
ahead and take this-
supervisor.
Go ahead and take this email that she's going to provide. I see his name on the, well, let me see, 1 second. I saw it on the
I
petition.
bet you he's the one that signed the petition. Are you ready to take down?
I am, yes.
Yeah, that's his signature.
So she's giving the email to this gentleman here that's on the petition. Go ahead with the email.
It is EDDIE .young, YOUNG, at nationwidecompliant.com.
Okay, anything else from either side?
No, Your
Not-
Honor.
Okay, it's the same logon information, correct, Wendy? Same logon information for next Tuesday at 3:45, is that correct?
Yes, sir. November 9th at 3:45, same meeting ID and passcode.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you all, and we will see you next Tuesday.